Hey everybody. So, you probably either read my article or you're watching this YouTube video, and I wanted to talk about energy healing this time. So, essentially what energy healing is the ability to connect to source or oneness or godness, whatever you want to call it, and we take that and we focus it on other people or sometimes ourselves. And when we do that, we start to dissolve energetic blocks inside of another person or ourselves, and that begins to let the energy flow and the healing to start to begin for somebody. So this can be used for physical pain, number one. Okay, my finger wasn't up there. Physical pain. This can be used for emotional pain, and those are the two pains I know. But those are the two kinds of areas that this can really be used in. And if you want to do physical energy healing, what you want to do is you want to have the person get comfortable in a quiet place, and you want to begin to run some energy. That's what we call it. Energy healers is running energy. So what that means is that you're going to take your hands, okay, these little feelers right here, and you're going to start focusing energy. The way I like to focus energy is you focus on the negative space in between your hands, right? So you put them close together at first. You start to breathe. The important thing is to control the breathing, to make it so that it's not like, you don't want to be like, I mean, you can actually, some healing modalities actually teach that if you breathe like that and then you let the energy build up, it can be a stronger force of energy. But for this, you don't want to do erratic breathing, where it's shallow breathing, or it's just not a strong form of breathing, right? You want to have it be controlled as much as possible, and you don't want to stress yourself out. All of this is done in a way that there should be no stress, there should be no feelings of like, I need to hurry up and do this. All of this needs to be done in a way that's like calm. Allow yourself to breathe. If you try to force the energy, if you try to make it move, it's not going to. You're not in control of this. You're not. You have to face that fact. What you're doing is you're guiding it, right? Just like the mountain doesn't move the river around when the water's coming down. Instead, it goes with it. The water goes, the mountain goes, everything's in harmony with each other. Nothing is forcing the other thing to move. It just goes. It just flows. That's exactly what we need to do. So we need to let go of control. We need to not be tensing up like this, and be focusing and getting our bodies all contorted and weirdly shaped and stuff. No. We need to focus. We need to relax. And overall, we just need to have a mental clarity of, it's okay, I can do this. Okay, energy healing is actually really easy to do. There's nothing really hard about it. The first thing you do is you relax, you go with the flow, and you feel that energy, right? Okay, once you start feeling that energy, you can close your eyes, or you can have them open, either way. But I like to close my eyes, and then what I like to do is I like to see the person I'm sending energy to. If they don't have a picture that I can see, because I do long distance sessions, and distance doesn't matter with energy healing. That doesn't matter at all. Energy is instantaneous. Thought is instantaneous. So it doesn't matter how far the distance, the energy will reach the person. Or you can do it up close with them too. It doesn't matter. It's going to be the same. So, at least from my experience, it's the same. Okay, so we close our eyes, we visualize the person, okay? We connect with them. What I mean by connecting is you can ask your guides, or you can say to your higher self, you can say, I wish to connect with this person, please allow this to happen, okay? And in order for us to do this, we have to ask permission from the other person we're doing energy healing with. You want to say, can I connect with you? Can I do an energy healing for you? Once they say yes, then you can do this. So you sit in a quiet spot, your eyes are closed, you're running energy, you're connecting with the person. And sometimes when your eyes are closed, you're going to get messages, right? Most of the time, they're not going to be auditory. They're going to be things that you see, but only for a split second. and you're going to energetically be able to read those. It's like learning a second language. You already know it, but there's going to be a part of you that's going to doubt the message at first. The thing is, you don't want to doubt it, right? You just want to say it. If something comes up and you feel like you need to say it to the person, say it. Don't second guess yourself. Don't be on the fence about it. Just say it. If you're wrong, that's okay. It's not about being right or wrong. The ego can be taken out of this. It's about relaying a message and telling the other person something that you're perceiving or something that you're, picking up at the time. There are no wrong answers, even if the person says that they don't feel like that applies to them. You could be picking up on somebody else, or you could be even picking up on yourself. That's why emotional self-mastery is something that you want to have, because then you'll know if it's something you're getting for you, something you're getting for somebody else, or something you're getting for somebody else that you haven't met yet. That's what this is about. We're developing a sense of knowing. We're developing an intuitive language, and energy healing is another one of those tools that we can use to envelop that intuitive language, the language of truth. All right. So we're doing that. We're focusing with the person. If it's physical pain, it's easy. Emotional pain's easy too, but if it's physical pain, you just want to send energy. You can connect with them as well. That's what I do, is you connect, but you don't have to connect as much because it's physical pain. You're just sending energy. You're just focusing, It could be 10, 15, 20 minutes that you're focusing, but ultimately it can help a person with a headache, a stomach ache, any kind of aches and pains, muscle pain, arthritis. It could be cancer. It could be anything. This works with anything. When you're sending energy, you're sending love, you're sending contentment, you're sending peace. You're telling the person that it's going to be okay, what they're going through. Everything's good. They're appreciated, right? That's what we need. But what happens is that emotion is energy in motion. But when the motion stops, when the energy stops, when there has been an event, a traumatic event, or there's been something that's happened to this person over a long period of time, energy tends to get trapped. The trauma traps the energy. So what we're doing is we're going in, we're removing the blockages, and we're allowing their energy to flow again. We're allowing them to be who they were before the trauma happened, right? We're bringing out their best self, and we're helping them with that. And in return, they're bringing out our best self. Every time we do an energy healing for somebody else, we also do an energy healing for ourselves. And that's the beautiful part of it. As we continue to heal, we can help and heal more and more people. So that's awesome, in my opinion. That's probably the coolest thing about this. Okay, so with the physical, we connect, we focus energy, and once we focus energy and we start going with it, we tell the person to let us know when it starts going down. We usually assign a number to the pain. So if it's a headache, for instance, they'll say, I'll say, assign a number to your pain, 1 through 10. 1 being hardly any pain at all, 10 being extremely excruciating pain or incredibly excruciating, whatever, pain, and they'll give me a number, okay? So let's say it's an 8, right? I'll start focusing energy. Me and my guides will start focusing energy, and they'll start saying stuff like, okay, it's starting to go down. It's starting to not be as bad. It went from an 8 to a 3. This can take 10, 20, maybe 30 minutes of you running energy for somebody, but the pain will eventually start to dissipate and go down. And when it does that, your job is to keep focusing, and your job is to tell them, once they've told you what the pain level is at, your job is to tell them, okay, keep breathing, keep relaxing, just stay with it, okay? And that's what they're going to do. And then you're going to do the same thing, and you wait until the pain's fully gone, and then that's it. That's energy healing in a nutshell, okay? Now, when it comes to healing emotional pain, what you want to do is you want to connect with them. And when you connect with them this time, you want to do a chord, just like you did with the physical pain. You want to do like a chord. You can do it from the top of your head to the top of their head. Let's say the top of their head's right here, okay? You got a chord, you plug right in, plug right in. All right, so when you're plugged in, when everything's going well with that and you feel that connection, when you do emotional cleansings for people, sometimes you'll pick up a lot more psychic messages. And when you start to pick up those psychic messages, they can be anything from them worrying about something. It could be something that happened to them in the past. It can be a number of things. But because you're connected to them, you also might start to feel their emotions pretty strong as well. So you got psychic messages that you could receive for the person. You could also connect with them through their emotions and start expressing their emotions, okay? And when you do that, you want to make sure that you're an observer. Emotional self-mastery is very important because you are an observer for this person. If they are drowning in their emotions and you jump in and you start drowning too, you're not helping them. You're not helping anybody, and you're hurting yourself in the process. So what you want to do is, if they're drowning in their emotions, you want to be there. You want to be a lifeguard. You want to swim out. You want to grab them, and you want to bring them back to shore. That's what the emotional energy healing work does. And when you start to do that, you're not going to fall into a pit of despair with them. You don't want that. That doesn't help them. Okay? So we focus energy. If we start to feel emotion, we allow ourselves to feel it. We don't say, I'm not feeling this. We don't say, I'm not going to allow myself to feel this. We go with it. We don't stay there for very long. The emotions are going to be strong. They're going to be intense. You go with it. You don't deny it. You don't suppress it. Emotion is temporary. It's not forever. Okay? All right. Now, once we've gotten to that point, we've connected with them emotionally, we've done what we need to do, we again assign a number, okay? The person is anxious. We say, assign a number between 1 through 10, all right? And they say, okay, it's a 9. My anxiety is a 9. My heart is racing. I don't feel good. I'm having a panic attack. Things aren't flowing well for me right now. Okay, so after they say that, we then start to focus energy. And we want to focus on the anxiety. We've got that cord. We're connected to them. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus, and we're going to push the energy gently, okay? Let the energy flow gently to them. And what we want to imagine, what I do is I imagine the person that I'm working on, and I imagine their heart. I imagine that space, whether it's anxiety, sadness, or anger. I imagine that space, and I imagine there's these little cords, there's these little strings that come out. And the strings are connected to these little balloons or these little bubbles, right? These little, whatever you'd want to call them, but they're connected to them. And what I like to do is I like to go in and I like to cut the attachments. And as I'm cutting the attachments, I say, this no longer serves me. I don't need this in my life anymore. Each attachment we cut is bad. We don't want to have these attachments. These cause us pain. These cause us stress, anxiety, sadness, anger. We don't want that. So we go in and we start cutting those for them. Okay? And when we do that, you're going to start to feel a sense of relief inside of yourself, but they're going to feel it too. All of this, when we visualize, when we imagine, that uses the energy body that we have. And the imagination is directly tied to the energy body. So when we imagine this or that, we're effectively bringing it into reality. That's why the law of attraction works. That's why things like that work, is because the energy body and the imagination are connected. People that have a strong imagination and are very creative tend to attract to themselves strong visualizations and creative things into their lives. But this is what it is. And so when you're doing energy work or the healing arts, you can use this to focus and to make your own healing modalities. You can do whatever you want to do with this as long as you can feel your heart and soul in it. I use a cutting thing. I get rid of the attachments and I let that go. Right? For you, it could be anything. I mean, you could take a needle and you could be popping balloons, and they're filled with stress, they're filled with anxiety, they're filled with whatever you would want them to be filled with. Or, you could use the elements. You could use fire. You could be burning away the stress. You could use air. It's blowing away. You can use the earth. It's enveloping the stress. It's sucking it into itself and accepting it with love and appreciation. And up comes this feeling of euphoria, this feeling of peace, right? And then you could be using water and it washes away. It gets rid of that stress. It gets rid of that anxiety. Whatever you want to use to help the person will help. You just got to make sure that you're involved and you're connected with it. And let me see what else here. After the session that you've done with the person, say it's 10, 20, 30, sometimes even 30 minutes, sometimes even an hour, they'll talk to you, they'll tell you how they're feeling, and that's what you want. You want them to tell you how they're feeling. And you'll know if you did a job well done, and most of the time you will. It's very rare that you don't connect with somebody, or it's very rare that it doesn't work. Sometimes the person isn't ready to be healed. Even if they say, I'm ready to be healed, I want to get rid of this, sometimes they're not. And sometimes it can be victim mentality, sometimes it can be other things that are blocking the healing, but most of the time it's themselves. Maybe they don't know how to heal, maybe they don't know what they would do if they were healed, and so they need to live through that a little while longer. It has nothing to do with you. That's what this is with energy healing, is it's not about you, it's about them, it's about their journey. And the only thing that we are doing when we do energy work is we are a conduit for the energy work. You're not producing the energy, you're not doing anything like that. You are simply taking it in and you're giving it to somebody else. If you want to imagine yourself as a glass, you're the glass, you're not the water, but you're giving them the water, right? You're holding the energy, you're giving it to them. That's your job. And most importantly, be humble with this. You are the person that, definitely you are helping these people, but having an ego about it, being selfish with it, does nobody any good. You're not healing for the praise. You're not healing for anything like that. And I've been guilty of that. You know, you do the energy work and you want the praise and you want to feel that self-validation, right? You want to know what you're doing is right. But you'll know what you're doing is right. You don't need that validation. And trust me, people will appreciate you regardless, and you'll appreciate yourself, and you are helping people, and you're giving them something that they couldn't have otherwise. You're really stepping out and you're really helping these people. That's more important than any thank you could ever be. Alright. Namaste, everybody, and I'll talk to you later.